Welcome to part 1 of Competency 12 quiz. In this video, we will work with data and measures of central tendency. Number 1, below is a list of 10 test scores. Okay, the range of the scores is 30 and the interquartile range is 15. Which of the following could be the value of X? So note that the last value is the unknown X. Okay. Yes, you could go through the motions that you were taught as a student. However, I wouldn't do that. What I would do is note how many scores do we have? We have 10. So we have n equals 10. This means we have 9 to enter in a list rather. Okay. We can turn these into Q1 and Q3 very easily and figure out, and match it. Let me show you what I mean. Okay. All right. So you may have items already entered in. So how do you clear out your list? Push data again, arrow up or down, and you'll see number 4. Number 4 is what we want, and it clears everything out. I am going to choose to use list 1 to enter this data, okay? All right, so we have 90, then 70, 60. Now, when you're taking your test, don't go too fast because the truth is you will take about the same amount of time to enter them as you would to write them down and try to put them in order. So don't worry about that. You're still saving time. Okay, so now I have 60. And as you see, it says I'm number 9 in my list. Okay, right there. Okay, so push enter to make sure it's in. Okay, so 10 we don't have. Now, this isn't a TI-84. So we're going to have to be a little creative. So the first thing that I'm going to note is this. They gave me the range. Okay, so let's look at my list. All right, and the range is the largest minus the smallest of the values, and it should give me 30. Now, thinking this out very quickly, I see my largest is actually 90, and the least is 60. So within the list that's already given, regardless of the X, this is going to be true. So the value of X cannot be less than 60 or greater than 90. Okay. Well, that gets rid of one of my options already. Okay. A is okay because it's greater than 60. So it's within that range. Okay. Well, because we know our properties, we've narrowed down our list, which is very useful. So your next question is going to be, okay, what am I going to do to figure out what X is? Simple. Start with A, and it is the 10th value. Type it in, 64. Enter. Now let's go second data. We are going to use number 1. We only have one list, meaning one variable that we need. Now, our data is all in L1, so we need to highlight that and make sure that it's not flashing. Okay, there it is. Now, frequency, put 1. Okay, that's because we only have one list. Okay, all right, so now let's push enter, and we have 10 items entered, but what we want to do is see that Q3 minus Q1 equals 15. So arrow up, I'm going to go all the way up so you see Q1 is here, that's 64, and Q3 is 85. So that is not, it's not 15. So that's not going to work. Okay, so let's go back. All right, let's go data, arrow up. We have to do that again. Okay, so we tried 64, no dice, didn't work. So let's try 84. So 84, enter. So I typed it over. Okay, same thing. second data. Okay, I'm going to try number 1, and it's all set up the way I want. So keep pushing enter till you calculate. Arrow up until you see Q1. Okay, 85 minus 70 is 15. So I am going to say B is definitely a possibility. I would agree. Let's try C, just in case. Okay. All right, so oh, I pushed second. Okay, there we go. Now let's go up. Okay, let's do a quick type over of 86. Enter second data. Okay, enter. All's well. We have it all set up, so keep entering. Go up really quick till you see your Q1. Oh, well, that's 16. 86 minus 70 is 16, so it is verified that option D is actually what we need. Okay, now we're going to go to number 2. I find it highly interesting because we have a pie chart. There are absolutely no values. Well, the truth is, if we know enough about the properties in a circle, we have a lot going on here, okay? And we should be able to figure this out for ourselves, okay? All right, so let's look here. The graph shows the result of a survey in which each participant was asked which color of their was their favorite, yellow, blue, green, or red. Predict how many participants would choose yellow or green if there were 850 participants. So this is what we have to deal with. We have a part over total situation equals this. I'm going to go ahead and do a setup with a percentage. That way it's quick to put in the calculator. Okay. So we have 850. That's my total. Percentage wise, 100 is always your total percent. Now we need to figure out from our pie graph, okay, from our pie chart, pie graph, whatever you want to call it, what our percent would be. We need to estimate it. Okay. And then we can get a pretty good estimate of X, which is the number of participants, okay, right here, number of participants. That's what we're looking for, and we're going to call that X, okay? All right, but first we need to predict. Well, that's what the pie graph is for, or pie chart. All right, so let's take a look. The orange, I'm going to say the orange, if you're looking at a circle, you go like this. Okay, see if I do my straight line here. I'm going to say that this is 25% of the circle. Okay, now looking at it, I'm going to look at the yellow and the green. Well, I think the green is roughly 50% of the yellow. Okay, if you look at those visual items, and pretty close. Now let's look at this, let's say turquoisey blue, looking more of a not teal, turquoise, I would say. Whatever color of blue or shade of blue that is, right? Whatever it is. I would say that guy, I'm going to label him at 45%. Now, if that's the case, that would mean that the yellow is roughly 20%. And the green is roughly 10%. Okay. So if we put our yellow and green together, okay, they're saying yellow or green. That means it's both of them. We put both together in a pool. Doesn't matter which one we pull out, yellow or green. Those are the participants that we're looking for. So this would mean that I am searching for roughly 30%. So how do I deal with this in my calculator? There's a couple ways to do this, but let's go ahead and use our proportional setup. That gives me 100x times 30 times 850. Now divide both sides by that 100. I know you've seen this multiple times in your life. Okay, these guys go away. So now I have something very solid to put in my calculator here. Okay, let's put that in the calculator and see what we get close to. Something tells me that 20 participants and 25 participants is just way too small. That those two, in my opinion, would be options that people would choose if they're incorrectly getting the percent. Okay, trying to just look at the percent and not the amount of participants. Okay, so let's go second mode, set up our fraction, and that is 30 times 850, go down 100, enter 255. And that is very close to option D. Okay, all right, let's go down now and look at 3. Given list L, and we have a list here, okay, of looks like 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 items. Okay, so I'm going to say N equals 9 items. Okay, all right, let X bar be the mean, which is what's in our calculator. Wait a minute, let me write all this down. X bar is your mean, M is your median, and in the calculator, I do believe that's MED. Okay, and then D. Okay, which they're getting a little creative. I'm perfectly fine with that. And the median, M is the median, and D is the mode. Okay, that's good. Easy. Well, let's look at our list. What would the mode be? Let's see. There's only 2 4s, 2 8s, but 1, 2, 3 9s. There's a lot going on with the number 9 in this question. And that's probably to confuse you, to be honest. Okay, mode of the numbers in list L. Which of the following is true about list L? Okay, what do? Enter it in your calculator. All right, so we're going to go data. I'm going to go over to the second one. Remember, this is in L2. Okay, all right, so let's enter it real quick. 4, enter 9, enter 4, enter 8, enter 9, enter 8. Okay, 8, 9, 8. And then 11, 10, and 9. 11, 10, 9. Okay, and that would have populated the ninth number. I absolutely agree. Now let's get this information quickly. All right, so second data arrow, we can arrow, I'm sorry, you don't want to arrow anywhere. We want vars 1. Okay, enter. Okay, now we need to arrow over to L2. So arrow over, enter that. Now we have everything set up the way we need. And let's click the enter. Okay, it looks like our mean or X bar is 8. So put your 8 in here. Okay, now we arrow up. Okay, our MED median is 9, and we already know the mode. So first off, it says for A and B, those options say that our mean is equal to our median. Well, 8 is not equal to 9. It's the other way around. This part of A is true, but the second part is not. So A and B are out. Now on C, I agree with this. And let's see, they're saying that 8 is less than 9. Ooh, I like C. Now, why do I not like D? Because our M is not less than our D. So mark that out. C is the appropriate option. Okay, going to number 4. Number 4, the height of each student at Austin Middle School was measured and recorded. Joseph was told that his height was at the 60th percentile of the heights of the students. Which of the following must be true? Okay, for this question, they simply want to know if you understand the properties and basic meaning of, here it is, was at 60th percentile. What does that really mean in this context? Okay, so let's read each of these. A, the heights of 4 students are greater than Joseph's height? No, I disagree. Okay. That's not what it means. And you should already know that if we lined up all of them in order, that he would be 60%, his height is 60% of all of them. Okay? Joseph Joseph's height is 60 inches. No. Okay? Now, let's look at C. The heights of at least 60% of the students are less than or equal to Joseph's height. That's what it means. His place in the line, all of these students in order, his place would be 60%. Okay, all of those would be less or equal to 60% of all of the students. So I agree with this. Now, D, if the height of the tallest student is 70 inches, then Joseph's height is 0.6 times 70, which equals 48 inches. Well, okay, fine. But we're not talking about his actual height in this situation. We're talking about his placement amongst the students, like ranking where he is. So D would not match the what the question is really stating. Okay. All right, let's go down to the next two. Okay. Well, for number 5 and number 6, I took the liberty of entering these lists in my calculator. Okay, so the first list is in L1. That's where I populated it. And then this list is L2. Okay. Number 5. What is the mean value of the list below showing the height of 10 students in inches? Okay, so let's push data and you'll see, starting with 63, they're all in L1. Okay, and there are 10 of them. So I can arrow up and see that I have 10 entered. Now, how do we find the mean? Okay, well, before we do this, let me remind you that this funny looking M, this mu, it does mean that is the symbol for mean. And in our calculator, that's X bar. Okay. All right. So let's go second data. And we want the first one, but we're in list 1. So you arrow over. Okay. Now everything's highlighted the way it should be. And then here we go. And looks like, see our X bar is number 2. That option D is what we need. Okay. Now let's look at number 6. What is the value of Q1, Q2, and Q3 for the following data, respectively? Okay. Now I've put that in L1. All right. So let's go. As you can see, let's go ahead and push data. You see what I have in there. And there are 12 of them, so you can quickly arrow up. As you see, I go down and I do have 19 is number 12. Okay, so second data, go to number 1 again. However, we need to arrow over to L2, list 2. So push enter and then keep pushing till we calculate. But we don't want the mean this time. We want Q1, Q2, and Q3. Now, if you're not familiar with this, if you haven't watched the other videos and you're not sure, please go and look for information on box plots and measures of central tendency. Okay, now remember in our calculator, Q2 is MED. So let's arrow up till we get that. Okay, there's our Q1 and our MED and our Q3. And that means that A is out. Let's see, B, and let's see, 16.5, 22, and 36.5. B is it. C, no. D, definitely not it. Okay, so option B is what we need. All right, this is the last question in our video. So I wanted to thank everyone for sharing their experience and congratulations to you for passing your exam. Of course, our videos are free to everyone. And I just appreciate the fact that you guys are watching and sharing and telling people about us. That's amazing. It, it's all our point is to help you if you're struggling. And I hope that our videos continue to reach and help many, many more Texans. Okay? Thanks for watching, sharing, and liking. Happy testing.